great show. Every match delivered. Every match delivered exactly the way it was supposed to. Just start off with the first match. Solo Sikoa and Tamatonga, you know, that was a big thing for them because they had to show they both equally had things that they had to prove. Solo Sikoa had to prove that he was believable as sort of this new de facto leader of the bloodline. Tamatonga comes into WWE, doesn't have to go through NXT, is already put in spotlight, getting rave reception, and it's his first match ever in WWE, and it's in an international PLE, and he delivered himself. Randy and KO looked great. It was great. The surprising thing, Tongaloa, I didn't read any sort of information that indicated that Tongaloa was even on the radar of WWE. So that was crazy surprising to see. Adds a new wrinkle, makes me definitely interested in what's going on with WWE and the bloodline. I felt like maybe we were about to go off course ever since WrestleMania, but I feel like, and it's crazy to say this, but the addition of Tongaloa definitely adds some intrigue, to the whole thing. So I'm interested in seeing that. Then you had the women's championship match, the triple threat, and it was a great match. And I think what we saw there was the byproduct of this new era, this new strategy. There was only 5 matches on this card, and people were losing their shit. Like, why is there only 5 matches on the card? Again, I found it a little confusing as well, but I just wanted to see things play out. And again, it's to me, this is the way I think it's going. It's Monday Night Raw, SmackDown on Friday night. Not quick matches, not fast matches, but matches that don't go 25 plus or anything like that. So they're a little shorter and there's not as much actual wrestling on the TV shows. You'll see heavy promos, heavy vignettes, heavy character development, backstage brawls, little Easter eggs. All that leads to is getting you interested in the PLE, because the PLE is where you're going to see the 20-minute bangers, the 15-minute bangers that'll keep people intrigued. So I believe, just by basing it, seeing how that, like, the format is completely different from what we're used to, that's just my sort of assumption, is that they want to make sure the quality of wrestling is prevalent on the PLEs. Not so much Raw and SmackDown, even though it's a focal point. It's more of a focal point of telling the story to get you interested in the match for the pay-per-views and stuff like that. So again, the next match after the phenomenal WWE Women's Championship match. Let me go back into my notes here so I don't lose track. We had the women's match, the tag team match, and then the tag team match for the WWE Women's Championships. Obviously, if you've been watching the program, 95% of people pretty much knew that Jade and Bianca were going to win this one. So my main focus was to see, uh, the big thing is, how does Jade perform? She's been wrestling a couple matches on TV. She's been on the international house show loop. So she's getting that experience. She had the Royal Rumble thing and the tag team match at WrestleMania, and she both excelled at those. So this is like another test, you know, for her to see if she can hack it in the WWE, and she fucking hit it out of the park. She hit a home run. That finishing sequence to Kyrie Sane to end the match and win the titles, it was mind blowing just to piece that together. Was great. And then you had the match between champion El Campeon Damian Priest, world heavyweight champion, his first title defense against main event Jey Uso. The crowd was going crazy for Jey Uso, and this was a great match, not only for Damian Priest and his first title defense, but also a match that shows that maybe main event Jey Uso is not just a moniker; it's a real thing. Um, I was becoming a little bit critical of Jey Uso. Like I said, I felt like he was a main event caliber talent. He had main event potential, but I felt like they were sticking him with guys that are just middle of the road, middle main roster guys, what you would consider mid card. But I hate the mid card title that gets attached to people because it seems like if you're labeled mid card, that's your ceiling. That's as far as you're gonna go, and not true. And it also it undervalues the importance of having a strong middle card of a show and middle card of your programs. But I felt like if you want to give Jey Uso that main event moniker and treat him like a main event, he needs to be in matches like this with Damian Priest. He needs to figure out a way to move on. I think though what they're going to do is they're going to start integrating him into this whole bloodline situation. It's good because again the bloodline situation, I think the inclusion of Tongaloa kind of fixes it and gets it back on track. So of course he wants to go and be a part of a hot angle, um, like the bloodline and all of that stuff. He wants to be a part of that. And, it's only going to do good for his career. But does it derail his main event situation? You know what I'm saying? Does it make it more difficult? I'm sorry. I don't know why I have the broadcast up of the Twitch stream. But it that kind of makes it more difficult. So it's like, what do? Do you go with the hot thing in like the bloodline situation? Do you want to take yourself out of the bloodline situation and focus on your singles career? It's a delicate balance. And then the match, Cody versus AJ for the WWE Undisputed Championship. Uh, Incredible stuff. Like a lot of people were going to be critical because a lot of people didn't feel like Cody deserved it. Like, they wanted to keep it on Roman. Roman had a very strong fan base that, was very adamant that Roman shouldn't have lost. It's wrestling. It's wrestling. Um, but Cody showed up, showed out. AJ Styles was incredible, showing that if he wanted to, he could keep going for another 5-10 years. He's that good. Um, but yeah, it was great. It was great. France, the Lyon crowd, you outdid yourself. You put all other countries on notice that we're kind of slacking. That we need to amp up our enthusiasm for the shows. So hopefully everywhere else, especially here in the States, people took notice of the way a wrestling crowd for WWE. That's the potential that you can have. I don't know if it's going to translate, like people are actually going to try to emulate that, because Americans are pretty staunch in their ways. But you know, it goes to show us like we can amp it up. We can be excited. We can do the chants and make noise, and we don't have to always be seated and things like that. So again, just a great show. A great show. This is going to be, in my estimation, at the end of the year, people are going to look at it and say it's it's on the list for show of the year.